candidate, Newt Gingrich, was blazing up the polls after winning the South Carolina primaries, but his momentum has cooled off, perhaps because of some of the nasty accusations about his past relationships. So right now we're going to find out his plans for a comeback and talk about some of the things that have been said about his character, because we have two people who take it very personally. Please welcome Newt's daughters, Kathy Gingrich Lovers and Jackie Gingrich. I didn't give your last name. Yes.
My last name is Cushman. Thank you. Cushman, yes.
You always dress alike?
Not always. This was actually a coincidence. Yes.
Yes. We had no idea. This is
you know,
they're happy colors. We're happy to hear.
You know, it's very important, and I've seen you campaigning for your father. And the fact with all the controversy, you are so close and obviously love him so much that you want to do this. So why should he be president?
Well, I'll start. Since I'm the eldest, which of course Jackie loves to hear, we believe he should be president because he is the individual who has the experience of governing. And right now Americans need someone who's actually governed, who's cut taxes, who's cut spending, who has balanced the budget 4 years in a row, and has, dealt with entitlement reform. So we have someone in our father who has done the things that America needs now.
Romney has governed also. He was the governor of Massachusetts. So it can't say that just your father was the governed person.
But he is the only person that has, including President Barack Obama, that has balanced, but there's not been a budget passed since Obama's been president. And my father has actually a balanced budget. My dad actually balanced the budget for 4 years. So we don't have anyone else in this campaign from a national perspective who has balanced the budget nationally.
Let me ask you this, because...
by the way, I should point out, because I didn't, that you two are daughters of your father's first marriage. And we will get to the controversy about that later. Okay.
In terms of the election, it's all about momentum, okay? So let's face it, early on after South Carolina, the momentum was great for your dad. And then it shifted to Romney, and now all we're hearing about is Santorum mania. So how is he going to get momentum back at this point? It almost seems like a lost cause, some would say.
Well, what we've seen in this campaign has really been, his dad says, like Space Mountain. You never know what's going to happen, right? So we've seen momentum shift from Paulini to Perry to Kane to Bach. I mean, it's been everywhere. And the reality is I think Governor Palin is right. The primary process is hard, but it's good because all the candidates get a chance to really hone their message, to really clearly articulate the conservative cause. And if Republicans want to nominate someone who can beat President Barack Obama, which is the Republicans' goal, right, then they have to have someone that can clearly articulate the conservative message. And I think there's a lot of value in that. So I think we'll see as we continue that it will continue to shift and change.
Do you think it's been a particularly acrimonious event, all of this backbiting, the super PACs, Romney's super PACs attacking Gingrich, which really, I think, hurt your father? That's when he really started to go down in the polls, after that barrage.
You're correct, and that is very true. And it's unfortunate, especially for the American people, for people like us, hardworking taxpayers, because we don't really have an opportunity to hear as much about what their policies would be, as much about why they should be in office rather than the negatives, and that's really some of the disaster of what's going on.
There has been this negative publicity about your father and about his personal life, so let's try to clear some of it up. Your mother and father were divorced when you were 13. One of the accusations that I think has harmed your father is that he went to your mother when she had cancer and asked for a divorce. The fact that you two are so close to him belies that. Will you clear it up for us?
Well, and I'll start because Jackie did, she's a columnist. She does her writing every week and is out there with Creator Syndicate. And she wrote an article back in May of last year actually addressing this that can, if you want to see it on Newt.org. But it really goes to the heart of the matter that our father and our mother, they are divorced. That's true. He did take us to visit her in the hospital, but she wasn't having cancer surgery. He didn't have divorce papers. And unfortunately, it's urban legend. It's one of those things like many of the other negative attack ads that aren't true.
Is it true that he divorced her before she got cancer? Was that the case?
Well, she'd had cancer years before, and at that time she wasn't undergoing any treatment. But here's the truth, and here's what people I think are really interested in. It's like many families in America, we've gone through trouble, clearly, and I know a lot of people have gone through challenges. But we're a very close family. My husband Jimmy and I are very close. We have 2 wonderful children, and my sister Kathy and her husband Paul are very close. And you can tell we support my father, and we love him very much, and he's a great dad. And I've got to say,
I want to just clear up that accusation.
Yeah, but yes, and my mother is very alive. She's very well, and she is an incredible mother. I've got to say, our mom's fabulous.
Forgive me, I'm sorry, but this has been said. Did your father go to her while she had cancer and ask for divorce?
No,
that's the accusation.
That is not true.
Okay.
That is not true. But thank you.
And we appreciate the chance to say that and to let people know if they want to share the
Your mother hasn't
information.
said anything about it, has
She's
she?
a very private person, and I think that we should honor that.
Sure.
You know?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, oftentimes in divorce, kids pick one side. And I know you guys have said that you haven't picked a side, and your dad was instrumental in you guys being close to both parents. What did he do, and how did he keep you guys together?
He's always been very positive about how good a job our mother did raising us. Now, I don't want to brag on us, but on our mother. He's always been very generous toward her in regards to what a nice job she did.
There is another. I'm sorry to be the bearer, but these are the things that.
That's your job,
Well, that's not. I'm just doing. I watch and watch. Okay, so the other. Sort of accusation, well, I guess it is, your father's second wife told ABC News, told Brian Ross, that your father wanted an open marriage, and that led to the divorce. He has denied that. Do you know anything about that?
No, I think Dad answered that very well at the debate in South Carolina when he said it wasn't true. And I think that what the sad part about all of this back and forth is it really distracts us from the main goal, which is to have someone that can lead our country in the right direction, that can actually accomplish things.
But there's also, let's be realistic, there's also, family values. This does play a part, how things are handled. You know that. It must be rather frustrating.
The party does espouse family values and makes a big point of it. So when one of theirs allegedly wants an open marriage, it doesn't look good.
And I
It's a very conservative base under the Republican Party.
Right, but I think in the end, I think with the American people, and I think Dad's been very good about it. He talks about making mistakes and having sinned and ask God's forgiveness, and he's been very open about that. And I think people respond to that because I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I know I'm not a perfect person. And I go to God very frequently and ask for his forgiveness. And during this campaign, I've asked for God's grace a lot. And I think that's important. And I think in the end, people want someone that can be a leader, someone that can balance the budget, someone that can reform major entitlement programs, and he's the guy.
Do you like Calista?
She's been an amazing trooper in this campaign. Absolutely.
We got to go. I'm glad we had time to ask about that. We want to thank you. I mean, what's a better endorsement than the two daughters? Our thanks to Kathy Gingrich Lovers, Jackie Gingrich Cushman, with their totally objective remarks. Right?